So today we are talking about these three projects that are very, very hot right now. The Penrith, Zyon Grand, and Skye. So Jason, personally, right, which one would you recommend, or which one do you like the most?
Actually, all these holds a very special meaning to me. Like for example, Zyon Grand, the area, it used to be where Kim Seng bowling center, snooker center was. So it's a very fun place in my memory.
Okay.
Right, when we talk about Penrith, right, I grew up in the area. My school was in Margaret Drive. So this place, I think if I have to choose between the three, I would choose Penrith if it's just out of preference.
Right. I will choose Skye at Holland.
Why?
Because the preference.
Oh,
because of the fact that I can bring my dog down for a walk at one Holland V.
Yeah, cafe person. So you like to bring a dog down and all that, right?
Yes, absolutely. So between the choice of these three, right, if let's say today, let's say we buy for investment, let's say we need to rent it out, because these three probably will give us similar kind of rental gain.
Yes. Actually, when we compare these three, right, if it's preference, it's easy to overlook the possibility that which one might have more gains and which are the safer bets in between. So today what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a few things. We're going to share with you what we like about the product, what we don't like about the product, and also if we were to choose, basically through logical analysis, how do we make a choice. So without further ado, let's go into the details. But what we will not do is we will not go into the project specific. That is in another video. You can, if you see this video, you can just DM us for our project specific introduction, our analysis about that project. Okay.
So today will be very, very specific, drilling down into a particular room type for you to see what is the difference between each of these projects for that particular room type.
Exactly. So from what we know so far, right, Penrith is probably going to come in at about 2,400 per square foot, right?
Right.
And then Zyon Grand, all right, is coming in at about 2,008 per square foot, right? These are just our estimate. And of course, Skye is coming in at about 2,650 starting from, all these are starting from prices. And when we look into these numbers, right, noticeably some of, when we compare them, Penrith tends to have bigger unit. So the question is, what does bigger units, additional space mean to you as a consumer in terms of the value? So this is where we can look into, for example, shall we start from a 2-bed, 1-bath?
Yeah, let's go.
Right. So when we look into this, right, what I like, when we look into the floor plan, these are the 2-bed, 1-bath floor plan. So one thing about 2-bed, 1-bath, what do you think about unit types like that?
2-bed, 1-bath mostly attracts probably investors so we really have to look at the rental yield that possibly can gain out of that particular unit lah.
Yeah, bottom line is we grew, I mean, as Singaporeans, knowing the local market, we grew to have this understanding that we need a 2-bed, 2-bath. But honestly, when I was staying alone on my own, 2-bed, most of the time, I only use one bedroom, one of the bathroom only.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so essentially, I was paying like another 200,000-300,000 just for another toilet, which I didn't use. Then eventually it became a storeroom. So a lot of developers also recognize this, because it used to be the way where singles or couple will buy a 1-bedder to stay. But these days, a lot of them, they are transiting into at least a 2-bedder to start from. So you see there's also a growing trend where 1-bedder and studio units are getting lesser and lesser in the market.
That's true, because I mean, if I were to stay just as a couple, then obviously if we quarrel, we also want to have our own space.
Correct. Cannot be walk left, 左看右是你, 右看右是你, a bit difficult lah,
Yes.
right? Okay, so when we look into the different floor plans, right, we look into Penrith. I think noticeably what Penrith has, as compared to the rest, is it actually has a bigger area for cooking, right? Kitchen. But this cooking area, it may or may not make sense because if you are probably a young couple, I think these days, more importantly, when we go into house viewing, my customer will be taking out last time we used to say where is the hawker, where is the market, where is the shopping center. Now they take out our phone, they look at their Grab and see, hey, what is Grab available? So when we look at this, and then when we see, so this is probably 24, and then this is 28, and this is 24. So there is an additional 3-meter square for Penrith, which makes the living area a bit more comfortable.
That's right.
So, but in terms of the bedroom size, I think they are almost the same, right? This for the Zyon Grand and Skye, right, we see that they are more of a dumbbell layout, but noticeably for Zyon Grand, there is a shortage of a balcony, right? So it's debatable again. Balcony today, is it
Important or not?
Yes, correct. Right. Most of the time it's become 晾衣台.
Yeah, so recently also very cute. There's a client of mine that was debating with she has a roommate. So they were actually debating over the price to pay off because one room has an additional balcony and the other room is just without balcony.
Oh.
So they made like the one with the balcony pay like maybe $400 more. So is it really a usable space? Is it
Correct.
really important today?
Correct. Of course, you can say that, this is a space that we can put up a zip track and enclose it. But however, it is still not a part of fully enclosable space. However, whatever we have discussed, it's just on the basis of space.
Yeah.
There must be a value and a meaning to this, right?
Correct.
So let's look at our estimated pricing. Okay, you see, noticeably, if we look at Penrith earlier, right? Actually, Penrith, although it's bigger, but because the starting price is lower, PSF is lower. So what it essentially means that you get a bigger unit, right? As compared to a smaller unit price. All right, but the pricing are almost similar. And then when we look at this Skye, suddenly, although it is in the in-between range, but the starting from is slightly higher.
So actually, without considering of the balcony space, the difference between Zyon Grand and Skye, and the difference of like probably 20 over thousand would be the space that you have in your balcony.
Would be the balcony, lor.
Yeah.
Correct. So what do you think when it comes to the rental for this place? Which one do you think will give you the biggest?
So Zyon is actually a mixed development.
Undistributable.
Yeah, mixed development, right? So easily I walk downstairs, it's actually the MRT already. I would think that Zyon probably around that area should give me a better rental yield. What do you think?
Okay, so let's look at the numbers, right? So projecting from what we have, again, every time it comes to numbers, we need to wait for the actual day before we understand what is the indicative pricing, what is the actual pricing. Whatever pricing we're giving here, they are all based on our experience estimates.
Yeah.
Right. And but when we look at but what we do know, all right, is the rental that's been transacting around the area.
Yes.
So I think relating to Margaret Drive area, we use Margaret Drive. I think Margaret View, right? I think it's a bit hard to compare Commonwealth Tower and the Queen's View because they are older and at the same time they are just stone throw from MRT. Stirling is on the other side on Stirling Road, right? So we use Margaret View. So when we look at the Margaret View and we take the average rental to compare,
yes,
you will realize that between these three products, right? Zyon Grand, Penrith, for Zyon Grand we use Irwell Hill, and Skye at Holland we use Holland Village Residence. Okay.
Just next door.
Yeah. So when we look at these three places, actually Skye at Holland has a higher rental pricing average.
Right.
I think largely it's also because when we look at from the purpose of demand and supply, the reality is that it's really, when you look at Skye at Holland, right, next to it, there's no other compatible condo there.
Yes.
Right. So, and in between, the elder brother, which is Holland V, right? Right. It's how do I say it? When you have a younger brother or older brother that don't do so well in life, younger brother do a bit better,
will shine.
Will shine really, right? So in terms of layout, in terms of the rest of the attributes, actually one Holland V do very well as compared to OHV. I must give credit to the developer. They actually built a development to stand out. So King Leong, right, actually they basically UOL. So far from the track record, their project, they built in with the elements for success for buyers, right? As we've sold with Principal Gardens, as we've sold with Avenue South in the past. So most owners will will enjoy some noticeable profit when they buy into property. So it's built with a lot of sense, right?
For
Okay,
Skye lah.
for Skye.
Yep.
Okay, so but when we put this number down to actual yield, right? In fact, 4.2%, 4.1%, or even 3.8%, it don't seems to make a lot of difference.
That's right.
In terms of yield, because really it's just a few $100 difference
Correct. So how do we
over the
choose?
year. So
What is a safe bet?
so for us, if I were to look into a property, I don't want to just look at the yield. Honestly, I buy property, right? I focus on gain than yield. But there's no way we can promise gain, or we can. I mean, no one can tell the future,
Yeah.
right? So that's what's the other way. The other way is to find a safe quadrant to be able to anchor against. So I give you an example for Penrith, right? If what we did is we look at latest TOP project reference, and then we take a comparison of project that is within 1 kilometer, right? 99 year, and TOP in the last few years. So we take a subsale if we can versus a resale, and then we understand the pricing. First of all, we look at what's happening within 1 kilometer, right? So in this location, right, actually there is a total of 205 transactions. Okay, just in the spans of the last 2 years. So when we talk about demand in this location, I think it's don't need to dispute one.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about what? Almost close to 7 transaction every month.
Yes, that's
right. So, and the median average price is 1.58 amongst all the transaction between 1.3 to 1.98.
And these are for all the newer developments that we are looking at.
Basically, this is in the last development TOP in the last 10 years. Right. For development, they just for Margaret View, right? Basically, average is doing about 1.584. So the question is, today, if I can buy a low floor unit in this location, right, at a lower PSF. Now, this is earmarked at about 2450 PSF. Okay?
Correct.
And if I can earmark around this price, right, at 1.5, 1.6, am I buying a new launch at a price
lower than its resale price?
Yeah,
basically.
generally, right, or at the price? So to me, this is very important, right? So this embark a safe bet for me. Okay, looking into Zyon Grand now, transaction in this area noticeably has gone lower already because it's about 72 project.
Yes.
Right. But what is good is what is actually showing is like you see there's average pricing is about 2 million there.
Very high.
So when the surrounding areas, all my older friends are already worth about 2 million already.
Correct.
Right. I get to buy something that is about 1.5, 1.6. Even I buy, let's say for example, if at 3006 PSF, 3006 PSF this quadrant, you'll be buying at 60 over story already.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Unparalleled view. Right. Because in the area, 它就是最高了，无尊的. So at 1.936, even I buy the highest floor, I also think that it's very safe. Would you say that?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, but another thing, because we also want to compare with their latest, the past 2 launches that went out in that area, like River Green and Promenade Peak, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think of the prices that is going to be launched based on our estimate and what has been launched previously?
So I think when it comes to a product, right, we must understand what is specific to that location. Actually, it's a good question that you asked about Zyon Grand, right? What we do know that is a few things that is tied to Zyon Grand, right? Number one, service apartment. But the question is, does service apartment bring value to the condo next door, right?
Yes.
So let's go back to our analysis here. So coming to Zyon Grand 2-bedder, obviously you have more units, 2-bed, and it's selling at about 2 million, right?
Yes.
And then this is about 72 past transaction. So it is lesser, right? But the quantum of average pricing is higher. In this case, do you think it's safer?
Yeah.
Would you want to buy? I mean, at least there's still transaction,
Yes, of course.
Right, but at the same time, this transaction I'm averaging at a higher price. So in this case, between Penrith and between this one and between Zyon Grand, which should you choose?
Wow, I will probably go for Zyon Grand.
Yeah.
It kind of ticks the box in terms of all the attributes that that will make this a very safe bet.
But still, we have to visit the show flat because there are other factors that is in our consideration before we land and confirm the unit. These days, you want to buy a property, you need to queue into ballot one. So what if your queue is at the back? And if they are launching, what is the threshold and what is the walk away? Most importantly, what is the walk away price?
Yeah.
Right.
I'll need a devil's advocate for that.
Yes. This is what we need to do. Finally, we have a Skye at Holland. Looking into this location, right? Average transaction price in the resale quadrant is 1.73 million.
Okay.
Right. And the pricing and the number of transactions very little. Only 12 in the last 2 years. Mostly attributing to two factors. Number one, OHV, most of the units have not reached the minimum SSD period. Number two, in the area, there's really not much competition, not much unit.
Right.
I have to pull
not a lot of supply lah.
Up to 1.5 lakh. Yes. So it's all about demand and supply. When a location is hot, sought after, and then there is no supply, demand is strong, what will happen to the price?
It will go up, no?
Yeah. So, but what it also means to us who has a unit for own stay here, right? Who wants to buy a unit for own stay here, down here, if you are to buy, you will really feel that it's very less dense, very relaxed, very cozy. Yes. And if you buy the rights, that you will be facing the entire GCB's cluster. In Coronation, Witong Street Park, that location. Yeah. So basically, you'll be looking at an unchanged view. Yeah. Very good for what?
Retirement.
Permanent home. Retirement home, permanent home, right? So there will also be market. Because one thing we noticed, for example, there is not much OHV that was done, but one unit that we sold, we was not caveated because the buyer actually used pay in full cash. They are staying in the good class bungalow. And over time, when they need to downsize, they just want to prepare a unit. For this one, they prepare for their grandchildren, right? But in time to come, there will be a huge demand from the landed owners, the very, very rich owner that stay in the area. And as such, if you want to look at Skye at Holland, right, I would think that a big unit, 4-bedder, 5-bedder, right, will go a long way there. Yeah. But due to time constraint, for this video, we can only do we don't want to be spamming a video that is 2 or 3 hours, to do a complete analysis of the development, right? So what we can, if you are interested, if you think what we are doing, our analysis give you some value, then do drop us a DM or contact us, drop us a WhatsApp, our number will be sent according to, will be in the details below lah.
Thank you. Right. So thank you so much for watching. Let us know if you have more questions.
Yeah, my name is Jason from Promex. Yeah. Okay.